You've probably heard this before. Urologist, how to reignite her desire with touch and emotional connection. But most men your age quietly wonder if that's even possible anymore. You start thinking maybe desire just fades with age. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be. It's not. She doesn't just miss your body. She misses how your presence made her feel alive. And science backs it up. According to Harvard Health, affectionate touch triggers oxytocin, lowering her stress and awakening desire, no matter your age. This isn't about pills or performance. It's about connection, chemistry, and confidence. Because when you learn to use your touch with intention, her desire doesn't fade. It reignites. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. Have you noticed her desire fading as you've gotten older? Type the words emotional connection in the comments if you still believe touch has power. And subscribe right now for real. Science-backed advice from urologists helping men over 60 rebuild confidence, connection, and intimacy naturally. Robert was 67, a retired firefighter, 40 years married to the same woman he swore was the love of his life. When he sat across from Dr. Catherine Rotker, a urologist with over 30 years of men's health experience, he looked defeated. "Doc," he said quietly, "my wife just isn't interested anymore. I've tried the supplements, the diets, the testosterone boosters. Nothing works." Dr. Rotker didn't rush her answer. She leaned forward and asked, "Robert, when was the last time you touched her without expecting anything in return?" He stared at the floor. He couldn't remember. That silence said everything. The truth was, it wasn't just about low testosterone, it was emotional disconnection. Harvard Health reports that simple, affectionate touch, a hand on her back, a gentle brush of her hair, increases oxytocin levels and reawakens desire in couples, even after decades together. So Dr. Rotker taught Robert 9 small, science-backed habits to rebuild that emotional connection. Within weeks, the woman who had grown distant was laughing again, leaning in again, and reaching for his hand first. The real threat isn't just low testosterone, it's emotional numbness. Years of stress, pressure, and silence slowly rewire your brain and body. When cortisol, your stress hormone, stays high for too long, it shuts down oxytocin, the same hormone that creates emotional connection and touch-based desire. Your body stops signaling warmth. Her body stops receiving it. According to the Journal of Sexual Medicine, men over 60 with chronic stress show a 38% lower response in physical intimacy. They call it poor affective attunement, meaning your nervous system literally forgets how to read her emotions, her tone, her cues. The result? You stop reaching out. She stops leaning in. And what began as biology slowly becomes heartbreak. It's not weakness, it's chemistry. And unless you reset it, that silent enemy keeps stealing your closeness. Dr. Rotker teaches something she calls slow touch therapy, a way to retrain your nervous system for emotional connection. It begins with a simple, grounding breath. For 30 seconds, you breathe deeply, letting your chest rise and fall in rhythm. The NIH found this slows your stress response by up to 42%, lowering cortisol so your body can actually feel calm again. Next comes non-sexual touch, your hand resting gently on her shoulder, her back, or her cheek for at least 7 seconds. The Mayo Clinic reports that this kind of touch releases oxytocin in both of you, the same hormone that builds trust and reawakens desire. Then add verbal warmth, quiet, sincere words like, "I missed this closeness." When she feels safe, her brain lowers defense hormones and opens to intimacy. Each mindful, gentle touch doesn't just reignite her desire, it rebuilds your confidence, one heartbeat at a time. Here's what happens when you practice this kind of touch every single day. By day 7, something shifts. You'll notice her body relaxes when you walk closer. The tension fades from her shoulders. That's oxytocin, the bonding hormone, quietly rising in both of you. By day 14, conversations start to feel easier. She smiles more. She finds small excuses to touch you first. A hand on your arm, a brush against your chest. That's her nervous system beginning to trust again. By day 30, the spark feels different. Not forced, not mechanical, natural, mutual, effortless. A 2022 study in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that couples who practiced just 10 minutes of affectionate touch per day showed higher dopamine levels and over 30% more bonding satisfaction after 4 weeks. When you do this, you don't just reignite her desire. You reconnect with the man you were meant to be. Masculine, grounded, fully alive. The biggest mistake men make is turning touch into a transaction. When you reach for her only to get her in the mood, she feels the difference instantly. Her brain doesn't read it as affection, it reads it as pressure. And pressure releases adrenaline, the stress hormone that shuts down desire within seconds. The NIH sexual behavior study found that 71% of women over 50 cite emotional distance, not physical decline, as the main reason intimacy fades. That distance grows every time touch becomes a demand instead of a connection. So stop thinking of touch as a way to get something. Think of it as a way to give. A hand that says, "I see you," awakens her. A hand that says, "I need you," closes her off. Desire doesn't grow through performance. It grows through presence, through giving, not expecting. You don't need to be 25 to make her feel wanted again. You just need presence, patience, and the right kind of touch. Because intimacy isn't lost with age, it's rekindled through awareness. When you learn how to use touch and emotional connection with intention, her desire doesn't fade, it deepens. So like, share, and comment. Connection over performance. If you're ready to rebuild desire the natural way, you're not broken. You're awakening to a stronger, more connected version of yourself.